I have been around on YouTube a long time now. I remember the multiple DMCA strikes that inflicted the Ex Centonos channel from organizations like Creation Ministries and Answers in Genesis. I made my very first YouTube responses regarding the DMCA takedowns on Thunderfoot from Venifang X. Unfortunately, even after all these years, YouTube has not wised up to rampant abuse of copyright strikes, used as a cowardly way to silence criticism and to create a chilling effect to prevent further criticism. The Bible Reloaded has just received their 6th DMCA takedown since 2014. They won the counterclaim against all 5 previous notices, and I have no doubt they will succeed this time as well. However, the strike remains until the counterclaim is processed and the DMCA claimant does not contest said counterclaim. Until then, they are unable to add external links to their videos, nor can they monetize any of their content or post videos longer than 15 minutes. It is unfair to deem someone guilty until proven innocent, and since YouTube's revenue depends on the success of the content providers, one would think they would be less cavalier with how they dole out these strikes. In addition to these 6 strikes, they also received one earlier this year for a content violation. Repeated attempts at contacting YouTube to resolve that issue resulted in several generic messages telling them to read the YouTube's terms of service. It is doubtful anyone even watched the video in question, as no one they talked to could name a portion that violated the terms of service. They would only tell Hugo and Jake that it did. While that video was eventually restored and that strike also removed, it was clear that no one at YouTube really cared, and worse yet, 2 more of the videos remain offline to this day. I enjoy the Bible Reloaded's content and do not like to see the channel face these attacks, but for the owners of the channel, Hugo and Jake, this is affecting their primary source of income, all because someone disagreed with what they said online. Worse yet, the video in question did not even use copyrighted material. It used only the publicly released trailer for the movie God's Not Dead 2. I have decided to rehost their video on this channel. It will begin as soon as this preamble ends. The links they mention at the end will be posted in the information bar. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I am Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded, and we're here today to do something special. If you've seen our other movie review series, you know that one of the first movie we did is God's Not Dead.
Was it the first?
It was the first, yeah.
Oh wow, well that one was it was a lot of fun. God's Not Dead was one of those little gems in Christian filmmaking where it was cringy bad, and it also had like this cast of 90s actors that used to be famous but they're no longer famous, fan favorites like Kevin Sorbo or Dean Cain. And it was so fantastic, and I never thought we'd be able to capture the magic we had that first time around.
Until the other day, I found myself on Facebook and saw a little video for God's Not Dead 2. And I had heard this movie was coming out. I thought to myself, oh God, please let God's Not Dead 2 come out so we can fucking review it. And I'm so excited. The trailer is out. So I think today we're going to take a minute to just appreciate what's coming to us, really, because this is a day of bounty, I think, for us all.
This is certainly a day to be thankful.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the trailer for God's Not Dead 2.
In this day and age, people seem to forget that the most basic human right of all is the right to believe.
So this guy just said, the most basic human right is the right to believe. Now, I'm not a believer, and maybe he's correct. I, however, would put the most basic human right under food and shelter? And water?
Like, I think
those are the most basic human rights, right?
Probably that, and just the general concept of freedom and autonomy. I don't know if belief is probably in there somewhere, but I wouldn't necessarily tout that as the first thing.
No, nor the most basic. We did get a shot of the Asian guy from the first movie, who was the convert, sort of.
He's the best actor they could get back from the first one, probably. Even the fucking Josh wouldn't come back, probably.
Goddamn Josh. Still didn't get his dick wet from his bitchy girlfriend. I'm not saying she has to put out. I'm just saying he should get a reward for putting up with her. And not because she didn't put out, because she was a bitch. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to have sex. But come on, that guy earned it. Even though he was an asshole to Kevin Sorbo. Poor Kevin. Teach, don't preach. That's what we say. That's what we go outside the Capitol building. We're like, don't do your preaching.
So if you can't tell, this, let's say, episode in the saga of God's Not Dead is going to be about prayer and religious themes in schools. It's interesting to me that they think this is even a debate that's being had. It's not. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page that you can't teach religion in a public school, at least not within the context that the religion is correct.
I haven't heard someone bring this up in a serious manner in, since Bush was president, really? Maybe right after Obama became president, and people are like, he's a Muslim. I don't think that people give a shit about this sort of thing. Are people resting on the fact that we need to teach religion in schools still? I didn't know anyone was actually on that train.
I think even most Christians would agree that religion is kind of a thing you do in church and at home. It's not something that you teach in public schools, at least not in the manner that I think they would want to, the people who have written this movie.
Well, I mean, if you can teach religion in schools, you can teach any religion in school, right?
I agree.
So I could teach all sorts of crazy shit to your kids if that's the door you want to open.
No prayers, no moments of silence, nothing.
Whoa. Was she the principal? I think she was the angry principals.
I don't know. All I can say is that Melissa Joan Hart has joined the cast of this movie, and God, I don't know if this is a step up or down from, Clarissa Explains It All, but it's definitely a step down from Sabrina.
She was a witch in that, which is bad. If you watch any of our Chick Check videos, you know you cannot... Thou shalt not Witchington.
And, there's some actors in these movies like this that I sometimes think, well, maybe they're just looking for work. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I assume after being a child actor, or kind of a young actor in your 20s, and the work peters out, maybe you want to do some other stuff.
Not MJH.
No, Melissa Joan Hart, I actually, right when we started this show, I had a brief interaction with her on Twitter.
Did you?
She is definitely, I did. She's definitely Christian and not just Christian. She was probably pretty excited to be in this movie. So,
that's
I
say that's too bad. I don't care that she believes. I'm just sad that my closest connection to the talking cat is you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not bad. They should have gotten the cat for the movie. It was a better actor.
Think of the other children out there who are subjected to
a confirmed Josh sighting, and his jaw is still as tightly wound as it was before. I assume still hasn't gotten his rocks off.
Was that him? He looks so different.
Oh, it was him. Look at him.
Hold on, let me get a picture next to him. Is that Josh, or is that just some other white brunette kid? It's hard to tell.
If it's not Josh, it's amazing. They must have a factory where they make them. Maybe it isn't.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Is it? Oh man, I don't know.
Seriously.
The bone structure's very similar.
I can't even tell if it's not Josh. Maybe they got a different actor to play Josh because that kid was too good for God's Not Dead 2, which says a lot. So they got a kid who looks almost exactly the same. I have no idea.
their repressive belief system.
So this guy just said something about regressive belief systems, making me assume that he is the bad guy.
He's definitely the bad guy. Look at his face. He's the bad guy in every movie he's ever been in. He's the corporate dick.
Yeah, but look at Haley Joel Osment's cousin right there.
Oh, he is sexy.
Just Joel Osment.
Yeah, he's looking good. They probably get it on.
Oh, I can't confirm that that's Joel Osment or that Joel Osment exists.
If we sit by and do nothing, the pressure that we're feeling today will mean persecution tomorrow. We're at war.
I just saw so many cameos by all my favorite characters.
You have Chinese Asian kid.
Chinese Asian kid. I'm pretty sure we saw both halves of the biracial pastoral bromance. I could be wrong. This is the white version of the biracial pastoral bromance right there. He's apparently in charge of this really awesome church now, which is good for him. I like a story arc that continues a character. I like to see where he is after he saw Kevin Sorbo die horrifically at the end of the film, right before the really fantastic Newsboys conference.
Oh, don't you worry. If you like the Newsboys, they're coming back, and don't you worry, they did not write a new song.
They didn't?
Just the same fucking song. They just still the Newsboys.
Is this the darker version of the biracial pastoral bromance?
I don't know. It's been so long since I saw the first movie, and it was a terrible torrent rip, so I don't even remember.
I'm going to assume it is for now. I don't know. They could also just change actors for the different characters, so I have no idea. But I'm going to go with a biracial pastoral bromance, still going strong on the tugboat of friendship. And he says we're at war. The only step forward from watching Kevin Sorbo die via car accident, allegedly driven by Dean Cain, is starting a war.
I don't follow. I don't know why those two things would be related to one another.
I'm pretty sure those two guys are going to go to war.
What makes nonviolence so radical is its unwavering commitment to a nonviolent approach.
What makes nonviolence so radical is its unwavering commitment to a nonviolent approach.
I think that's word nonsense. That's the closest thing to a sentence they could get Melissa Joan Hart to say.
Poor MJH!
I don't have anything against Melissa Joan Hart as a person. I have something against her agent and the fact that they thought this would be a decent career move. But
that was the worst line I've ever heard. That's not... What? No.
This is for people who think that teachers get in front of students and just speak inspirationally for an hour a day for an entire year and don't actually give facts. They're just the kind of teachers like, how do I reach these kids? Endlessly inspirational Robin Williams.
Why are they from a Russian gulag? How do I reach these kids?
It's how it is in the dark times.
Oh, all right. Okay. I guarantee this bitch right here, though, about to talk, nothing smart's gonna happen.
Isn't that sort of like what Jesus meant when he said that we should love our enemies?
Okay, just so for anyone that's wondering, I have not seen this yet. This is my first run through this. I called that shit.
Yeah. And this is one of those things, I'm close enough to high school, college age that I can remember this is the kind of thing that would come out of someone's mouth and everyone in the class would collectively cringe like, oh, why are we bringing this up? Not because they're anti-religion, just because they're aware that it's generally a taboo to bring up your religion in the context of a public forum, which is kind of what a public school classroom is.
I have the sneaking suspicion that Melissa Joan Hart will be our convert. Is she not the good guy here? Is she the Dean Cain / Sorbo?
You'll see what happens.
Yes, you have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
Oh, I missed it. Pray for those who persecute you. Damn you and your purity.
Yeah, if you can't tell, Melissa Joan Hart's gonna be the kind of Josh of the movie. She's going to be the good Christian person who's just being put down by the system.
That's too bad. Internally I was putting my best foot forward in a vote for Chinese Asian kid convert to be new Josh. But instead we got Sabrina.
One of your students sent a text to their parents.
Oh, not Josh sent a text to his parents. He's tattling on Melissa Joan Hart. This is huge. This is big stuff. Are you riveted? Hugo, are you riveted?
No.
Okay. I don't know how else to titillate you.
Did this happen?
If you're asking whether I responded to a student's question, yes.
Bitch, you also said that you should pray. So, I have taught before, and they tell you when you go in, you have to be pretty even-handed.
Right.
So, she can say, I think that you should pray for your enemies. However, she has to do it in a way that isn't, because she's in an authority position. It's a thin line between giving an opinion and pushing that opinion.
She could probably say, and it'd be alright, like, in the Bible, that's what that says, and contextualize it, but you can't just say it as if it's a fact.
Yeah,
and again, I'm not saying that if this were to happen in real life or whatever, this is the biggest straw man bullshit ever, it's God's not dead too, what do you expect? But my point would be, if in this situation, of course, there's no need for a lawsuit. The idea is just that you probably, as a teacher, shouldn't be pushing religion. And I'm not saying, again, that's the intent of the character, but it's hard to relate this to real life because the situation is so constructed in order to try and push a narrative. It's hard to relate it back to reality.
I agree. The problem with this shot, though, in all seriousness, is that strong black female principal is so much hotter than Melissa Joan Hart. Like, that black dress is doing it.
And your answer incorporated the words of Jesus.
Whoa! They have a tiny tribunal happening.
Yeah.
A small lawyer-clad hearing.
This is where the lawyers and the terrible administration tell her that she has to stop doing her Christianity thing. And actually, in the movie, if I had to guess, it'd probably be fairly reasonable at first. I would guess they tell her, like, hey, knock it off. And then in the movie, she'll probably make a decision, stand her ground, which, honestly, it didn't even seem like in the beginning she was, like, that gung-ho about it. She was just responding to a student. But no, she's got to go and prove her religious devotion.
Frankly, not Josh that sent the text is kind of a douchebag for sending that text anyway. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I think he probably could have asked the teacher after class, or maybe even during it, being like, hey, you know, not all of us are Christian, and then maybe she would have had an opportunity to backpedal. People misspeak. It's fine. I'm not even mad at Melissa Joan Hart's character for saying that shit. No. I am, however, mad at my life for not having those obviously super luxurious chairs in my life. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Dude.
What were you thinking, Grace?
The Thawleys are asking that you be fired, plus revocation of your teaching certificate.
Whoa. This sexy guy is talking about getting fired and stuff, but I'm too worried about him being sexy.
I feel like Melissa Joan Hart, in everything she's ever been in, she always reaches up as far as relationships go. Harvey Kinkle, way too good for Melissa Joan Hart, even in her prime. Harvey Kinkle was a dream, and that's a fact.
Yeah, this is Jesse Metcalf of John Tucker Must Die fame.
I don't think you can call anything related to the movie John Tucker Must Die a claim to fame, but if you feel the need to visit his IMDb page, you can do so.
He was also Van McNulty in Smallville. That's it. He's in some other shit. That was pretty much it. I'm sorry, Jesse Metcalf. You're good looking, though. Good for you. Yeah, dude, come on. There's no way he's getting with MJH. She's wearing a fucking elephant shirt.
How do we make this go away and not get blood on our hands?
Whoa, what?
That lawyer is taking this
fucking
litigation
serious?
so seriously.
I think he thinks he's in like a Michael Crichton book.
Yeah.
He's like, how do we do this without getting on the president's plane? And someone's like, we don't have to do that. You can go through the appellate courts. It's fine. It's good. We just have to fill out some paperwork. He's like, get off my plane.
This is actually fairly straightforward as far as legal proceedings go. This isn't that big of a deal.
You're not Harrison Ford. It's okay. It's fine. This is the sum of all fears. Okay, now that's Tom Clancy. You're switching.
We let the ACLU do it.
We're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
Ha ha! Congressman saying shit against the grain. He's got the balls to say it.
This guy's gonna be the new Kevin Sorbo, and it's gonna be beautiful. I don't know how this guy's gonna die, but he's gonna die. So
you know
probably
what?
Dean Cain with a blimp is gonna run into him or something.
I was gonna say.
No order in the matter of Thawley versus Wesley.
No, Ernie!
Ernie
Hudson!
Oh,
no!
You were the only Ghostbuster I still liked.
Come on, you can't. Venkman?
Okay, Bill Murray, you know
Bill
what?
Murray's
I think Bill
great.
Murray's very funny, but I think in the past couple of years, I think people have inflated Bill Murray's ego to be bigger than it needs to be.
I only think it's because he's old and we want to treasure him.
Mr. Kane will insist Faith isn't on trial here.
Wait, he's also a lawyer?
That guy's the lawyer. Yeah, he's gonna be the.
Oh, he's not the husband or whatever?
No.
All right. If they don't make out, though, I'm gonna be kind of pissed. I know Melissa Joan Hart's married in real life, and she probably wouldn't do that. Kind of like how Kirk Cameron refuses to kiss anyone that's not his wife in a film.
That's ridiculous. Kirk Cameron, that's the only chance you have.
Kirk Cameron could slay. I'm just saying. Like, if Kirk Cameron wanted to be promiscuous, he could do so at will.
But that is exactly what is on trial.
Wait. Is he on the jury? The white guy from the biracial pastoral bromance?
I think he might be.
Oh, so are we going to get some, like, a mix of, like, I don't know, Freedom Writers, which is a very inspirational sort of classroom drama / 12 Angry Men.
See, I was thinking it's going to be like a To Kill a Mockingbird, 12 Angry Men, Jesus mashup, and that was what I was taking from it.
There you go. I'm just excited for at least half of the biracial pastoral bromance to be in this. Plus, I like saying that phrase, clearly.
You're looking to prove that Jesus Christ existed? Oh, that's ridiculous.
When you're in trial, that's not the time. That is not the time.
I love these characters. Oh my god, this guy's gonna be the slimiest douchebag fake atheist ever. It's gonna be beautiful. Like, I'm gonna fucking bask in this guy and how he's hamming it up. I can't even tell you how excited I am.
He's just... I think they wrote his script by just copy and pasting random r-atheism Reddit posts.
Yep.
Prove Jesus exists, shitlord. Oh, fuck you, Jesse Metcalf. Good looking. God, he's good looking.
I hate what people like your clients stand for and what they're doing to our society.
What are they doing to the society? I mean, they're not very good for, like, education as far as the sciences are concerned. They haven't really touched math yet. We'll see what happens there. But I mean, like, for the most part, the majority of Christians are pretty reasonable people, right?
I think so, in day-to-day life, yeah.
Yeah, in day-to-day life. Like, the whole you people thing is such a weird straw man for... And I know that some atheists are like that. Like, there's a guy the other day that called them, like, second-class citizens, believers.
Which is insane, considering that, like, most people in the United States are believers.
I know.
Whether you're an atheist or not, you have to... you know that most people are religious, right? Like, as much as I do think religion is bullshit, like, we are in the minority as far as society goes right now, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't call the majority of people second-class citizens. That's insane.
You're under arrest.
These people.
What are they under arrest for? Now I'm so intrigued.
Okay. The end of this movie is going to be the Christian Holocaust. That's the surprise.
Do you think? And I'm okay. So this looks like confirmed biracial pastoral bromance. I'm just saying.
Look at that.
Except
bromance.
It's getting split up, and also he decided deep V, no undershirt.
God, it's palpable the tension between the two.
I know. I think he's worked out a little bit. He looks less soft than last time.
He got the phone call from his agent. Buckle up, buddy. God's not dead too. And he hit the gym that day.
They're looking to destroy you. Everyone's telling me to stay out of it. What is your heart telling you to do?
I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world and be judged by God.
Boom! There's your big one. Is she Josh? I know Melissa Joan Hart is Josh, but is she also Josh? Are we getting two versions of Josh here?
I think Josh, his entire spirit and being, has found a place in the hearts of all the main characters, and they're all going to be the Josh.
I love that Jesse Metcalf here is catching up on his reading while he's supposed to be litigating. Good for him. Man, myth, Messiah. I hope his last crescendo, his last stand in the courtroom is going to be like he proves God exists. Instead of impressive. A shitty philosophy class where someone yells at Kevin Sorbo for 15 minutes.
I bet Ernie Hudson is going to break lots of laws as far as his ruling, if I had to guess.
Precedent is set that Jesus is Lord.
I am not going to be afraid to say the name Jesus.
Oh, are people? do people have a Jesus phobia? Are people phobic of that?
I think that some religious people, the very, very, the kind of people who watch God's Not Dead unironically, I think they legitimately think that people telling them, like, hey, you know, I don't really want to hear about this right now. I think they take that as if people are shitting on them personally, and it's not. Most people just don't want to hear about your religion if they're not a part of it.
That's great.
If they want to have a discussion, that's great, but you can't assume everyone wants to hear your spiel all the time.
Side note, I used to have sort of a crush on Melissa Joan Hart. And she doesn't have... I thought she had more kissable lips going on back then. I thought she was more voluptuous.
Melissa Joan Hart has not aged the worst out of 90s.
No, she looks normal, but I just feel like she's got less... I don't know. It makes me want to hump less. Let's say that. Not that she's Christian, just based up, like, drunken, met in a bar. She's not choice number one. Suddenly. Which is weird for me, because it was like her and Kimberly from Power Rangers when I was a kid. Whoa. This is the first time anyone's cheered for Jesse Metcalf, and he is eating it up.
So did the movie God? No, because it couldn't, because the character is in it. Why is God's Not Dead a thing in this universe? Like,
because the guy says it in that hearing.
Okay.
I assume maybe that's on C-SPAN or some other made-up network for this film.
Oh, this is gonna be beautiful.
This is gonna be so freaking good. You know what I haven't noticed? Any more Asian convert kid. Kind of disappointed.
I'm assuming he'll be in the beginning, but more of a cameo.
He's gonna be our bridge.
We're on bated breath waiting to see what happened to the exchange student from the first movie. I think his arc was pretty wrapped up in the first one.
Whoa! Did you see that old guy?
Yeah, he was getting it.
Woo!
Oh man!
Thanks, Jesus, big time.
That guy is acting. If you were talking to an alien race and they're like, "What's acting?" What
That's
this
it.
guy is doing. This is acting.
That's Pat Boone, by the way, of Pat Boone fame. Oh, look at biracial pastoral bromance edging.
Oh my God, they're
They're so not climaxing right now. Just holding it in. Got to close your eyes and think of other things.
They're fellowshipping so hard right now.
Oh, just fellowshipping all up in that bitch. Whoa! Is the Asian kid gonna get lucky?
I think he is.
With a pretty attractive dumb bitch?
He's gonna get to Christian third base.
What's Christian third base?
Boggle.
They're doing Candlelight Vigil for Melissa Joan Hart and Pat Boone.
I think Pat Boone's Melissa Joan Hart's dad.
I think it's just Pat Boone as himself, inviting himself into the situation. He's like, "Remember me, guys?
He's still
Pat
acting.
Boone."
Look at him act right there with his mouth open. He is aghast at what is happening. I believe it.
I was going to use the same word. It must mean Pat Boone's doing Pat Boone things. This isn't even part of the trailer. They're just like, we got these guys.
They wanted to remind you that the Newsboys are a thing because they keep appearing, because I assume their record sales probably go up when these movies come out.
Good for the Newsboys. I hear one of them's an atheist.
Never heard.
We got a ton of comments on it last time. Like, one of the Newsboys is an atheist. All right, maybe. I don't know. Unconfirmed. You know what is confirmed, though? Product in that hair. Expensive product, too. He spares no expense. That's what he uses that Newsboys money for.
If we're going to insist that a Christian's right to believe is subordinate to all other rights, then it's not a right.
What? It's not subordinate to all other rights.
No.
It's just subordinate in general to the whole list of rights.
They're going to take
it's
this
as subordinate as the other ones.
When rights come into conflict, because sometimes they do. That's just a fact.
Sure.
Sometimes your right to want to do something conflicts with someone's right to whatever. Usually there's sort of a common sense measure that has to be taken, and where is the least damage done, and whose rights are infringed upon the most or least by doing a thing.
Yeah.
For instance, the most recent example would be Kim Davis. Kim Davis isn't allowed to tell gay people they can't get married. Even if her religious rights are being trampled upon, which they're not, by the way. They're not, because she doesn't have the right to do that in the first place. But even if she did, the rights of the people to get married are on the same level as hers, but hers would be hurting other people. You see the difference? You see what I'm saying? Again, though, she doesn't have the right to do it in the first place, but it's the closest to this situation I can even think of, because honestly, that doesn't happen all that often. When people use religious freedom is being trampled upon, 9 times out of 10, it's not. So it's hard to find an example that's legitimate, if I'm being real here.
Way to take this seriously, Hugo. Really bringing me down.
You are the boy I charge you with
Whoa! That was an Ernie Hudson smash!
I can't believe they did a gavel break. That's so ridiculous.
That wasn't just a gavel break. That was an Ernie Hudson gavel break.
Yeah,
That's something I never thought I'd see.
Ugh.
This is better than Fallout 4 and Star Wars coming out in the same year.
I accept the charge because I have nothing but contempt for these proceedings.
Oh, so he's going to jail then? Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely going to jail, and he he deserves that because he openly declared contempt of court, which is illegal.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone openly say I find this courtroom to be in contempt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he actually declared I'm in contempt of court. That's an insane thing to do. Well, that's a bold strategy. Let's see how it works out for him.
It could just work, Cotton.
Surprisingly, I bet it will.
God's not dead, he's surely alive.
So, I think that's it. Is there a stinger at the end?
I don't think so.
Oh. But guess what?
He's living.
What? Comes out April Fool's Day, 2016, which at first made me think, nah, they're fucking with me. Good one, Ernie Hudson, because this is obviously an Ernie Hudson type prank that he's not famous for that I just made up. But, no, it is really actually coming out April 1st, 2016. I may actually go pay for this one.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't really want to be in an audience full of people who are there to... But then again, it's almost to the point where I borderline think if I went to go pay to see God's Not Dead, I think half the audience would also be atheists making fun of it. You know what I mean?
At this point, maybe. The last one did relatively well in the box office. For a Christian film, people were talking about it, and it got a little bit of a buzz for like a week.
My girlfriend's sister, who has 2 kids... loves that movie, and her kids love that movie.
Your girlfriend's sister who has 2 kids is not a smart woman.
I don't.
I've never met her.
She's totally fine. Like she's I would consider her a pretty moderate Christian, actually, for the most part. So It is interesting that the sort of weird extreme views espoused in these movies do speak to moderate Christians, at least on some level. There are some who don't blatantly see through it.
See, the thing about it is, it's not like anti-gay, or it's not like a Ray Comfort version of extreme where it's like taking rights away from other people. It's just saying, I want more of my rights, which is something that most people identify with in general.
It's Christians saying we want special privilege under the guise of saying it's rights and thinking that it's rights because they had these privileges in the past, but they do not any longer and don't like it. And I'm not saying it's like an evil ulterior motive. I just think... some people don't realize that they're not allowed to do certain things and where their rights end and others begin. But anyway, that's God's Not Dead 2. We'll definitely be checking that out.
I'm so excited.
What I assume will happen is if we do go pay and see it, then we'll probably do a review then, and then maybe another review when it comes out on DVD that's thorough. I don't know. Or if we can maybe magically, by the will of the Lord, find a copy of it on the internet before it releases, then we'll do it then. We'll see what happens.
Maybe. We'll see what the situation is. If it's too low quality to even assess, then we won't do that. But I'm looking forward already to God's Not Dead 3, where they bring the likes of like Freddie Prinze Jr. out. I would like to see some of the failed Mickey Mouse Club, some All That cast members.
Oh, Keenan. Get Keenan in there.
No, Keenan's doing Saturday Night Live. You got to get Kel.
Okay, we can get Kel.
Kel's not doing shit.
Okay.
Kel's probably in a crack house right now.
Just, who loves crack? Kel
I
loves
do.
Oh.
That was crack noise. I don't know what crack sounds like.
They're probably just like that, breathing it in.
I have an idea of what crack sounds like, but I guess I've smoked it, but I've not inhaled.
You just like the flavor, like a fine cigar. Like, this crack is delicious.
You should have just smoked crack for the flavor, for the mouthfeel.
Oh, okay. So thanks everyone. If you want to check out our first review of God's Not Dead, you can check it out here. That was like our first movie review, interestingly. So check that out, and then check out our other movie reviews that we got progressively better at, I think.
I think so,
Or maybe this
too.
one's the best one, and it was all downhill. I don't know.
If you'd like to see actual movie reviews, we do have our channel Unpopped. So up top on the right, there's the clickety-clack. Look, it popped up. Even on mobile, you can click it on the clickety-clacker on your mobile phone or your pad or whatever you got, your iGizmo. And you can check out Unpop, where we actually do other movie reviews. And we did the Star Wars trailer, which we have all the hype for. You could also follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded.
You can follow Jake at Bible Reloaded.
You could also subscribe to the channel and get more things that we do. Also stuff.
You could donate to our Patreon campaign if you'd like. We do a once-a-month patron-only hangout. That's a lot of fun. We usually read like a little Christian comic and riff on it. We talk about stuff, talk to the people in the live chat. Lots of fun. So if you want to be part of that, donate any amount of money. Literally, it could be like 2 cents. I shouldn't tell you that, but there's a trick that doctors don't want you to know or something. Anyway.
What? Is that like one of those ads like, the fitness community is going to ban this in a week.
Yeah.
Get ripped quick.
Yeah, just like that.
All right. But
Anyway.
you can pay 2 cents to watch us be jackasses. Okay.
So, thanks everyone. Until next time, I'm Hugo.
And I'm not Josh.
And this has been God's Not Dead 2 Electric Boogaloo.